If you haven't heard of a trebuchet, you may have heard of a catapult. They are both medieval siege engines. So this is obviously, can fit in this room. So it's a much smaller model than what a real life trebuchet would have been. But the idea here was to load up the sling with like large stones or anything else that can knock down the walls of a castle or a fortified city. And then when everybody's holed up inside and you want to get in, you can just let the counterweight go, which for our counterweight, we have a lovely water bottle filled with sand.
That is nice.
Yes, and then that will launch your projectile into the walls of the city, or perhaps a dead cow over the walls of the city, a plague victim if you have one, anything that will help to end the siege a little earlier. So it's a very similar function to the catapult. Catapult has a slightly different mechanism, but otherwise same sort of idea. And so the way that the trebuchet contest works is we've been doing it on the football field at Gayle Middle School for quite a few years now, largely in part to the Gayle Middle School librarian, Nathan Seckinger. He builds these trebuchets with a lot of his students, and he puts tutorials online so you can make your own at home. There are 3 different class sizes, so if you want to build something this size, you definitely can. If you want to go smaller, popsicle stick trebuchet perhaps, you could do that. If you want to build a large one that has to be launched, from the ground instead of a tabletop because it's so fancy and expansive, we do have some very enthusiastic adult community members that build these crazy trebuchets with rolling action, and it's a good time. And then we launch them as far as we can, and we also have accuracy contests and of course give out awards for most fantastic design. This one's pretty basic, but the ones that the middle school students make especially are festooned with different colors and all sorts of motifs. So it's a good time.
What a great project for families and kids to get. I would think kids just love this kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not super technically advanced, so groups of middle schoolers, make many of them every year, but also we have lots of like father-son duos or, all the kids make one together in the family. It's a pretty great time.